DogPack may finally be in some major trouble, and I don't say that lightly. DogPack has recently revealed himself to be a massive liar that doesn't actually know anything about what he's doing. Recently, it has been revealed that DogPack has come into possession of alleged CP. In an attempt to expose Mr. Beast and Chris Tyson of distributing and having alleged CP in their group chat, DogPack has admitted to not only possessing the original image, but also modifying it by censoring it for the sake of presenting it on a YouTube video for hundreds of thousands of people to see. Of course, it did not take long for the general public to notice how egregious and disgusting this is, but it appears that DogPack has resorted to lying in an attempt to deflect accountability. If you want more information on this topic, please watch this video. To give a quick summary anyways, because I know some of you are going to want one, essentially, DogPack and Rosanna Pansino came into possession of an image that I can't show on screen. They identified it as CP, used it to promote their videos in a community post, used it in their video, albeit poorly censored, and then tried erasing any evidence of the fact. Fortunately, the internet is forever, and people have pointed out the monumental fuck-up regardless. Unfortunately, the image has now been distributed to hundreds of thousands of people, thanks to their reckless disregard of anything. DogPack has issued several responses at this point, and they're mostly lies. Let's talk about the response he issued over on Reddit when he was asked about the community post that he deleted on YouTube. Here he says, "DogPack here, I received access to the work chats not knowing there was potential CP, obviously. When I saw it, I reverse image searched it thinking it was probably fake news. Cursory search revealed nothing conclusive, and obviously I didn't want to dig deeper through weird websites, so I censored the image and deleted the source. Keep that in mind, everybody, because it's going to come up later. Ro and I only ever reacted to or distributed the 100% legal censored images. How you can constitute whether a CSAM image is 100% legal or legally censored is baffling to me, considering that most journalists aren't even allowed to do that." And he also says the reason we deleted the censored image is because people were using it to find the uncensored image, which was being posted in Twitter replies. So obviously, we want to mitigate that, but I assure you Ro and I are legally good. As I mentioned yesterday, this is inherently dishonest, as DogPack knew about this material over a week in advance, alleged it in a WestJet video, yet in the time span of over a week, did not do anything further to inform himself of the fact that he may potentially be committing another crime, or have came into the possession of CSAM, as well as recklessly distributing it and facilitated the spread of this image. He himself acknowledges this by saying that people were finding this image through his and Rosanna's posts.
And by the way, I have access to thousands of work chats that have not been leaked yet, and I'm going to start leaking them, and one of them contains alleged CP.
Of course, after being called out repeatedly and after the situation became incredibly spicy, low IQ moron WestJet over here made his own video covering the allegations with a bit of due diligence. He did, however, in fairness, shine a light on the fact on concerns that I've been pointing out since hour one of the situation, which is the fact that DogPack was in possession of this image and distributed this image. DogPack made a comment on this video essentially trying to defend himself, and he said, "How the fuck am I getting accused of possessing CP when all I did was download the Mr. Beast work chat? I wasn't expecting to see allegedly 13-year-old Ivanka Trump in a sheer top. I thought it was an edgy meme or some shit. Anyway, by every legal definition, I never actually possessed or distributed the uncensored image. I reverse searched a censored version. Feds can search my hard drive anytime." Well, the thing about this comment in particular and what he's saying in this comment is that he's automatically contradicting himself. How did he know that a 13-year-old Ivanka Trump in that image was in a sheer top? Not to mention the fact that this is directly contradictory to what he said on his Reddit post, where he says that he had to censor the image himself and deleted the original source after reverse searching it. This brings me to DogPack's response over on Twitter, where he says, "Just to clarify, the claim that Ro and I reacted to uncensored CP is a blatant lie. I have the original screen recording of exactly what I showed Ro. Every picture was sufficiently censored, thus not constituting CP." Well, if that's correct, DogPack, then I would hope to see that recording so that we may see what you showed Ro to make sure that you're not faking that as well. He then says, "I downloaded the work chats and deleted the uncensored images as soon as I believed they could be illegal." So again, another contradiction. He knows that there was uncensored images and knows that they could potentially be illegal. Okay, let's continue. Neither Ro or her editors ever saw the uncensored picture. So that means that if you did see the images and if you did have to censor them at some point, you modified these images, which is still illegal. And then he says, "It is a fact that I never knowingly saved the uncensored image. It is also a fact that I never distributed the uncensored image, either knowingly or accidentally. accidentally. I'm happy to invite the FBI to verify these facts. Well, I sure hope you are. Also, he says, as I explained multiple times in the video, the only source I could find for it being 13 years old was Ava, who distributed the uncensored photo to a company work chat. So you do say that the image was uncensored. So once again, another contradiction. He then says, I have found no other evidence verifying the individual's age. My exact quote in the video is, in my best judgment, if this is a 13-year-old as Ava alleges, I would say that this constitutes at CP in my opinion. Basing my opinion on federal law, section 2256 of Title 18, United States Code, a picture of a naked child may constitute a legal CP if it is sufficiently sexually suggestive. However, in the full context of the video, DogPack, you guys both proclaimed that this video was sufficiently sexually suggestive, and you made the claim that it is CP in your opinion. So when you say right here, we never claimed the image was in fact CP, we would not make that claim based on one source in a vague legal code, that's a lie, because that's exactly what you did, per your own statements.
Well, so here's the Department of Justice website, Citizen's Guide to U.S. Federal Law on CP.
Yeah, we're saying CP because YouTube, they flag you and all that stuff.
And I'll read this for you.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it.
Images of CP are not protected under First Amendment rights and are illegal contraband under federal law. The United States Code defines CP as any visual depiction of sexually explicit conduct involving a minor or someone under 18. Visual depictions include photographs. Notably, the legal definition of sexually explicit conduct does not require that an image depict a child engaging in a sexual activity. A picture of a naked child may constitute illegal CP if it is sufficiently suggestive.
That image was suggestive.
Yeah, in my best judgment, if this is a 13-year-old, as Ava alleges, I would say that this constitutes a CP, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Let's see if Jimmy knew about Ava's concerning behavior.
Our point was that Ava knowingly distributed an uncensored explicit photo of someone they believe could be underage in a company work chat. Everything was reported properly to authorities and handled in accordance to law. That may be true, but did you do that before the fact or after the fact? It's also incredibly important to mention that if that's your point against Ava, that makes you a hypocrite, DogPack, since per your own words, you're implying Ava knew this was an explicit image of a minor, which is legally defined as CP per your own assessment, and you went on to do exactly what Chris did. So even if you didn't make a definitive claim it was CP, you're still guilty of the same points you're bringing up that you're trying to implicate Ava of. So that makes you equally as guilty and liable as she is. She found an uncensored image. You also got that uncensored image. You both also reverse image searched it to find more information. You both also distributed the image to other individuals. Censored or not, that's still egregious. Nfix replied to this and said basically what I said yesterday. So you had the image possession, censored the image, production, then put it in a video distribution, then reported it to the authorities after doing those three things. Also, the image definitely wasn't sufficiently censored because you had to censor it at least 2 times. That's true. They had to censor it multiple times as well as scrub everything they had on the internet because it was leading to more people finding this material. He then says, you and Ro distributed CP to own Mr. Beast. You two are insane. Also, you need to download an image to reverse image search it like you admitted to doing on Reddit. And this is a big point of contention right here because DogPack's response to this is absolutely horrible. DogPack replies with, bro, do the smallest amount of research. Accidentally downloading an image does not legally constitute possession. Otherwise, you could get anyone arrested by airdropping them images against their will. That is true. However, the accident portion of this is completely irrelevant considering the fact that you grabbed this image purposely to reverse image search it and censor it per your Reddit reply. He then says, censoring an image to remove nudity is obviously not production of CP. It may not be, but it's still modification, which you then went on to upload anyways, which is still distribution. He then says that's literally the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Well, DogPack, you're a moron considering you don't recognize that issue. He then says putting a non-sexually suggestive image in a YouTube video is obviously not distribution of CP. Okay, that may be fair. However, who are you to constitute whether or not that is not a non-sexually suggestive image on YouTube if you both actually agree that the image was sufficiently sexually suggestive in that same video? He then says legally it was censored enough. We censored more to prevent reverse image searches. So again, he's admitting to the fact that it was in fact not censored enough considering people could reverse image search it the same way he was mentioning in that Reddit post. DogPack continues to say, and you don't need to download an image to reverse image search. There's this cool trick called copy and paste. Well, DogPack, let's see what the law says about that. Images created, adapted, or modified but appear to depict an identifiable actual minor, which she was identifiable by the way, which is why they had to censor it multiple times, undeveloped film, undeveloped videotape, and electronically stored data that can be converted into a visual image of CP are also deemed illegal visual depictions under federal law. So, if he did copy and paste it, that is still electronically stored data, which he did in fact convert into a visual depiction, considering he had to reverse image search it, which he confirmed he did, as well as the fact that a visually identifiable version of the image was present in a YouTube video twice and was also present in his community post and was also present in Rosanna's tweet. Nfix then replied with this: "Oh no, you copied and pasted the CSAM that was already on your computer. Also, there isn't a legal amount of censoring. I'd like a source for that, little bro. I would also like a source for that. Also, why didn't you go to law enforcement first?" And then DogPack said, "I did not. Also, the legal amount of censoring is when the image cannot meet the legal definition of sexually explicit," which wasn't the case at first, by the way, because you could literally see the explicitness in the image because it was poorly censored. He then says, "If you thought any of the images I showed were sexually explicit, you should report yourself to the FBI so you can get banned from public pools, creep," which is ironic considering that you and Rosanna both considered the image sexually explicit in that video, and you made the judgment call that it does constitute CP. So you are equally liable for that yourself if you're accusing Cam of the very same thing. There's one more interaction here that I want to cover. Cam says, "And who deemed it legally not sexually explicit? You? Are you a lawyer? Also, copying and pasting images creates a cache on your computer. It's over, bro." DogPack then replies with, "No, an actual lawyer did." I find that incredibly hard to believe, considering the fact that journalists are held to a specific standard that if they do receive illegal material such as CSAM, their first step is to never share content, even in an attempt to make a report. Their first step is quite literally to report that to appropriate authorities first and not distribute the image in any way, shape, or form, let alone modify it to make it safe for distribution, as he claims. So he's literally lying here. There is no way that a lawyer signed off on this in any way, shape, or form, considering they were working with potential CSAM. So just to recap, he confirmed to viewing naked images and needed to censor them. He then confirmed that he reverse image searched those images after seeing them uncensored in Chris Tyson's messages. He also confirms in his community post that he censored the image in post. However, in WestJet's comment, he says, "Anyway, by every legal definition, I never actually possessed or distributed the uncensored image. I reverse searched a censored version. Feds can search my hard drive anytime." Okay, let's make something very clear. You did see those images. You did have them in your possession. You did copy and paste them so that you could censor them. This is all true. And then you distributed that censored image, which is still possibly illegal and a breach of the law, and you reverse searched a censored version? That just doesn't sound true at all. Everything about this guy is just straight up a lie. Now, while I have been very harsh towards DogPack, keep in mind, I am only being harsh using his own judgment of whether or not this image was CP. Keep in mind, he judges that this image is CP. However, in fairness to DogPack, ultimately, this depends on whether or not proper authorities would be willing to constitute this image as sexually suggestive CP. In spite of this, though, if the facts turn out to be that this image was not CP by legal standards, that means that he and Rosanna both implicated Chris Tyson and MrBeast's company falsely of having possession of and distributing this material, and misrepresented Chris Tyson's reason for bringing up this image in the first place. This is not to defend Chris Tyson or MrBeast. As a matter of fact, I think that there are a lot of things that they rightfully need to be criticized for, but DogPack making this monumental screw-up have directly given MrBeast and Chris Tyson a win, and it has tarnished his credibility and trust, meaning that MrBeast and Chris Tyson could possibly never have to actually answer for what they're being criticized for. So with that being said, let's remember that there are more than legitimate things to hold Chris Tyson and MrBeast accountable for, such as Chris Tyson creating an environment that is unsafe for kids in the shape of a Discord server, her unhinged taste in disgusting explicit media, as well as MrBeast hiring a legitimate sex offender, amongst other things. That's all I got for today. Later.